Welcome to today's video. And for those of you who don't like me doing lives at this time, please do say so. But what I'm trying to do here is to put the live chats on at exactly the same time as I normally put my usual videos on, and I'll see if this actually works. For me, the difficult thing is to stay awake. It's late. Today I got up at 2:30 in the morning. And well, it was a bit early, but anyway, so that's how I live. Today I'm going to try and answer a question I get asked more than anything else. People send me private messages asking me what motorhome or camper van should I get. Now, how am I supposed to know? And despite the fact that I say, well, why don't you just ask this in the comment section, and but people don't. Now, the thing is, though, the situation is now changing from being a seller's market, as it has been for the past 3.5 years. It's now once more in the process of becoming a buyer's market. The reason for this is that motorhome dealers now have now have stock which they didn't have before. You can actually walk into a motorhome dealer's place and hand over the cash and drive a vehicle out, a brand new one. That hasn't happened for some time, and it's not everywhere. I mean, there still is a bit of a shortage of stock, because particularly if bear in mind, if you're going to start being fussy and say, I don't want a green one, I want a blue one, and I don't want the interior to be in brown, I want it to be in silver or whatever, then you're still going to have to wait. And as motorhomes are built, even the cheap ones, to a certain extent, I think it's fair to say, are built to order. They are not built to order as maybe as much as the really big expensive ones, but they do the furnishing and the colors that you want, and have all sorts of options. Now, as to answer the question, what would you want? Now I'm going to answer the question, what I would want, what I would do. And the first thing is, like with anything else, you have to set a budget. Now, I don't want to start sounding like a business person here, or once again in a live chat, but the thing is this: you have to decide how much money you've got, and then that is your budget, and really you should not go above that. And furthermore, you do have to bear in mind other things, the other costs that you're going to have to fork out for, the most expensive of which is insurance. In fact, the most expensive could even be where you're going to park the thing if you haven't actually got your own parking for it. Then you work out how much cash you've got. Now, this is the way I see it at present. Currently, the cheapest vehicle on the market, which is from a mainline producer, you're looking somewhere in the region of, what, 45,000 euros or something like that for a Fiat Ducato camper van. Maybe you can get one for 41,000. Clever Vans has got one at that price approximately, and so you could buy that at that price, and you get a new vehicle. You might have to wait for a little bit, but then again, there may be people who have it in stock, and you can just sort of collect it and drive it out. But I would urge people to think of the opposite. Now, obviously, everybody is different, and what I think and what other people think is not the same. If not, everybody would want to buy the same motorhome, and then nobody would buy the others. But I would suggest people think of the following: if you've got a budget, and I'm going to say, let's suppose you're going to buy the cheapest one, new, like 40,000 euros for the clever vans, then why not do something like this? This vehicle I'm in here now, I think, looking for a classic vehicle, this is personally, classic motorhome from a company like Frankia, Carthago, Hymer, EuraMobil, Izok, or something like that. That is something I personally would go for. Now, something like this, which you may have seen in my, the video I did on it, and I'll show you how I'm sort of living in it before long. Something like this, you're looking on 40,000 euros new. And so a motorhome which would be 15 to 17 years old. Okay, that's quite a lot. So the engines had a bit of a pounding, and you're going to have to place the cam belt or whatever, and or the drive belt, and things of this nature. But the vehicle has much more possibilities over a new Fiat Ducato camper van. Alternative, even buy a Fiat Ducato camper van, which would obviously cost a lot less. So I am a big, strong believer in the in this, and Paris has just written, I've just found a little gem. Yeah, I have. I mean, I always believed in it beforehand, but now I'm utterly convinced. Now, I do appreciate that buying anything used, you don't know what you're getting, and the biggest single problem is probably water ingress, probably, and these things do get lots of water in them, and the reason they get water in them is this, because you've got a wall there and a wall there, and you've got the walls are sort of stuck together, and when they move around they sort of get loose, and so you're always going to get water inside them, but it's to catch the water before it does any damage, which is the trick, and it isn't always the case. Now, the first vehicle I looked at in January, so we went up to near the German-Dutch border, and there was something that was on, it was advertised. In fact, it was an auction, and so the we won the auction, so to speak, so we went up to see it, and it was a 7-meter, it was a Hymer, and I've got some photographs on Facebook, so I might even put them on the YouTube site as well. And but the thing, it was roughly the same price. It was bought, it was on a farm in near the Dutch border. And the thing was, though, it turned out it had a leak. It had not a leak, water had got inside, and this was only using this I've forgotten the name of it, whatever it's called, the aqua, the thing that shows you where the water's inside, and so we could see the water was there, and there was staining, and well, the staining wasn't very great, but it was a little bit, but it would have meant that the panel had to come out, and you're looking at 2,000 or 3,000 at least euros in repairs, which would have had to have been made to it. And okay, so the seller didn't want, there was no price that could be agreed upon. In this case, this wasn't declared in the auction. The seller actually then went and complained to the auctioneers, and then we got a letter from us, the auctioneers, from us, making the point clear what had actually happened, that they hadn't told us the truth. Having said that, I am absolutely overjoyed that that one didn't go through, because this one here is me. That other one wasn't really me, and there was lots of things in it which, to quite honest, it was all right for a number of people. I mean, you could even sleep 5 in it, but this is me. It's shorter, mind you, though. It had a lot of the same features. We've got a double floor, we've got the throughput storage in the double floor. The other one had an even bigger garage than this one's got. So it had lots of nice features that this one has, but this one's 60 centimeters smaller, so it's easier to park. And it's got rid of, for example, had a rear facing, so we've got the forward facing bench where I am now, and there was a rear facing one as well, and there was the chairs, so it didn't form like a semi dinette, and because that could be used as a bed. And so, mind you, the table was absolutely enormous. That was brilliant, and I suppose I'd even made the table even bigger if I'd wanted to, so for work it would have possibly been better. And so Peter's asking for a tour. I've done a tour. It's a video up. I'll do another one. I'll do a with me living in it, and you see all my junk inside. And so this is what I'm going to suggest that people actually consider buying. Now, I do appreciate that a motorhome isn't for everyone, and to start off with, it's wider. And so a camper van, you're looking at approximately, depends on the year when it was and all the rest of it, now it's up 204 centimeters wide, not including the mirrors. And earlier it was like 199. It could even be 190 centimeters for the thinnest motorhome, you're really looking at 208 centimeters. I don't know, any motorhome is thinner than that. And this thing here, for example, is 226. And I do appreciate, I very much appreciate that is a lot. I mean, 20 centimeters extra. I mean, if it's 20 centimeters like that, you think, well, that's not much. But when you're driving down the motorway in Germany, and there's roadworks here and there's roadworks there, and you've got lorries trying to get past you on that side, then it is quite wide. And that I absolutely do appreciate. Apparently, also there are people who don't like being up a height when they're driving. I do find that odd, actually, because to me, I think that's part of the fun. But I mean, I do appreciate that studies show this to be a problem for drivers. For me, a problem is the width. I don't like driving anything which is wide. I feel threatened from all sides. So that is one thing. So if you can do that, do it. Now, there's another thing you might want to consider is this, and this is the people who bought under COVID, who weren't real campers. Ativ wants just a very small trailer. Yeah, well, that might also do as well. Sorry, what is a trailer, by the way? What's a trailer mean? Can you write in a synonym for trailer? So I think you mean caravan by ours. And so if you get one of these vehicles, some of these people have bought it, they're not real campers, and they bought new in 2000. I don't know how they managed to do that. In fact, they wouldn't have done it, would they? Because I mean, the COVID was 2000. That's when everybody started buying the things. They think that'd be 2001. But okay, right. So they used it in 2001. Found it didn't like dumping the sewage cassette out, and then it's been stuck on the drive for the past year. And now they're saying, well, okay, I may as well release some of the cash from it. So there will be these vehicles now coming on the market, and they will be very good condition. But always to get somebody to go with you when you buy, you do a thing called a habitation check. There are specialists. You'll find specialists online. Somebody who'll go with you, and you'll pay for the habitation check. Indeed, a seller could do the habitation check and up front, and if it's from a reputable person, here's the habitation check from this person here, and you can see what they've actually said about it. And that, in my opinion, would be an excuse to actually charge more money. If the thing doesn't have a habitation check, they need to get it done. The charge for it in the United Kingdom, for example, is about £200. Well, I heard somebody yesterday charging £60. I thought, well, £60, you want a very good one. You want to make sure it's good. If you're going to spend a fortune on the thing, £200 is actually absolutely nothing. Now, Paris writes that the UK is now saturated with lots of councils stopping overnight parking. And in Europe it's different. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's in countries in Europe as well, where overnight parking's taking a bit of a hammering. And so I've just noticed, because I've got this new light. It's a round thing, but it's circled on my eyes. I can see my eyes got this circle on, so it's not a UFO or something. It's just this new light of mine. Here, I'll change the color, see if it makes any difference. But it doesn't. No, it's still there. There you go. Red, blue. I'll make it red if I can there. And anyway, so it's still the light. The funny color is going to be there. Nothing I can do about it. In the United Kingdom, this is a big problem for the overnight parking. The thing is, I mean, there are campsites. Campsites in the UK cost a fortune, and it is a pity. Having said that, in Scotland, there's different rules on parking, so you can still. It's not all that difficult. I must admit, though, when I was there looking for a place to stand, everywhere was no overnight parking, no overnight parking, no overnight parking. Anyway, so RV Motorhome Camping says hi, so hi. And Aliv says, who is in the States, and asked a very good question. Is it easy to get around Europe with an RV? It's not as easy is in the States, but the States is super easy to get around, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, the United States has got these huge expanses of land, and what the United States has, it is the #1 country in the world for natural beauty. Nowhere comes close to the United States, and a huge amount of scenery as well, from desert to tundra to high mountain. It's the United States is absolutely fantastic. Having said that, in Europe, whereas we have one thing the United States does now, we have this sort of this culture in these small villages and things of this nature. You've got more people, you've got the languages changing, and you've got a greater variety, for example, of foods and things of that nature. And so I would say that, yeah, it is. I mean, it's here. I'm in Poland, and Poland's a new country where they're only just now finding out about stopping people camping at places, and there's certain organizations charging absurd amounts to park on public land, which has just happened. I see this in Facebook groups, for example. So you want to park in the forest, they're charging 70s watt a day, so 140s watt a night, plus absurd amounts if you want to take water and things like that. 140s water is what, 120, about 30 euros. That mightn't sound much, but to park in the forest, we've got no facilities. It's a fair whack of cash. And maybe I've exaggerated. Yeah, 30 zlotys. Yes, that's right. So 30 euros. That's something which is now, though, just beginning. I park all over the place in Italy and Germany, and it doesn't really bother me. I can nearly always find somewhere to park. And there's a really good app called Park for Night. Okay, friends of mine own it. I actually work for it on an advisory capacity, so maybe I'm biased, but there are other apps as well. You don't have to use the one I work for, and so you do have a great deal, I think, still of freedom with that. So the possibilities for getting out and enjoying yourself in the motorhome are very good. Right, so to come back to which one should I buy, I get people sending me pictures of things and say, should I buy this or shouldn't I? Well, how am I supposed to know? I give the advice on what you should do. To one, decide how much money you've got. When you decide that the layout and everything else suits you, if it's whatever's available, then if it suits you, you like the layout. I want a widthwise bed. I must have a toilet and a shower, and if you can do without them things, then get a camper van, a cheap one, a VW or something, and you won't find a cheap VW, but I mean a cheap something else. These are things which I want, and what I now know, I've learnt new thing. I want a double floor, and I've got a double floor, and I didn't want this really nice, can't see it now because it's dark and I've got everything closed, but I mean this lovely lounge I've got in here now, which I never thought of before. I thought I'd just have a forward-facing bench will suit me, but no, I've got this here. It's wonderful, and so now I'll want this in the future as well. Though I think this vehicle possibly will last as long as I do. At least I hope it. Well, I'm not planning on going yet, but I hope it will last for some time. So the vehicle you should get is the one which you can afford, the one which is available, and the one I would suggest that you do look at is to really see the second-hand market, what is available. Lots of stuff is coming onto the market now. I did a video a couple of days ago about the plight of the maybe I'm exaggerating the word, but the condition that many dealers find themselves in now. So you can actually exploit it if you want by taking something off their forecourt and negotiating again on price, which is now possible once more. If they've got stock, you can negotiate. If they haven't got stock, there's no way they're going to negotiate very much. They might give you something minor, like, I don't know, spare pair of windscreen wipers or something, but you won't get anything else. Okay, good. So I might come back to this subject. No, sorry, I'll rephrase that. I will come back to this subject at a later date. and but for the moment, for me in Wrocław, Poland, this really lovely campsite I'm staying at, or I stay at, I should say. I and that for the moment. So a couple of things coming through. Oh, sorry, my Facebook group is called Motorhome Full Time. So that's what I was going to. That's what I called my site when I had a site. It was called Motorhome Full Time. But then I just couldn't be bothered with the site. It was just too much work, so I just gave up. But the Facebook group is called Motorhome Full Time. Amebus writes that he drove across France and Italy last week. Noticed in France that there were tons of spots to park along the motorway. They're called airs. Now he's driving an Audi, though not a motorhome. Yeah, in France they've got these things, airs. Now somebody's used this word instead. That's the French word stellplat. So in Italian, sosta campa. And here in Poland, we haven't got a word for it yet. And in the UK, we haven't really got a word for it either. And the airs are maybe free, or they may be charged. I've seen them as much as €9, for example, for the night. Some of them are really outstanding. Actually, I just did a video yesterday of a place I stayed at in Germany, and I'll get the video up as soon as I manage to upload it, because it's taking a long time to upload things now for some reason. But absolutely wonderful in this old town, right next to where the city wall was. Outstanding. And then in France and in Italy you find these places all over the air. So really, okay, and often they're free as well. So often, not always, but I mean, okay, €9 maybe for the night isn't too bad. And Sean writes, what's my favorite powertrain? Mercedes, Fiat, VW. What would be the most reliable? Well, I can answer for me personally, but you know, I mean, I like Mercedes, but that's because I like the contact. But there's nothing wrong with a VW, and there's nothing wrong with a Fiat. And I don't knock them. I just because the way I drive, I like the feel of the Mercedes. So I don't knock that at all. And I really want to suggest people have a look at the Ford. Give the Ford a go. It is super light. And me, I don't like that so much, but other people might do. So give it a go, have a try. And Florence says has got a motorhome after watching my videos for a year. Thank you. It's a Carthago I compact line 143 German layout. Love it. Thanks for that. Oh, great! This is one of my favorite vehicles. I really like Carthago. I like the style of Carthago. And I think that the style somehow reflects what one buys as well, the internal look. I mean, I really like this one here. So I mean, I'm totally, I'm sort of in love with my motorhome. So it's not, I'm biased, and it's I'm no longer giving a fair and objective opinion. But I really like the way Carthago looks. That appeals to me, their style. Inside, I mean, there are some vehicles, some manufacturers where you can go huge amounts, like Niesmann, Bischoff, for example. I'm back on. Sorry, the internet went off. I've just turned off the what do you call it? The Wi-Fi. And it's on my paid service. So anyway, though, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thanks very much for being here today. We'll come back to this one again in the future. Tomorrow I'll be a motorhome video. I was going to put up a video of a new service for buying motorhomes, but I think I'll leave that one for the moment. I'll put up a motorhome and probably a 4x4 one as well, because I've been going through my 4x4 collection of videos and I've been putting them together. So for me at the moment, thank you very much for watching, and thanks Mebus, thanks everybody else, Florin, Sean, C, Ahiv, RV Motorhome Camping, and everyone else, including those that didn't make any comments but were here. All the best, and bye for now. Thank you.